Chiefs Wire podcast. We are back, and I've been wanting to get this guy on the show for a while now. He's a big deal. I'm going to hype him up right now. He's a big deal when it comes to the training world within professional sports. I'm just going to give it up for Mr. Billy Voltaire. Billy, how's it going, man? We've been trying to do this for a while now, and I'm just happy to finally get you on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me onto the show. It's an honor. My second podcast, so I'm a little anxious. But again, I'm appreciative of the opportunity. And yeah, you and I have been chatting about this for quite some time, and I'm glad we're finally able to do it.
Definitely. And for everybody out there, obviously, I've been promoting this. Billy has worked in the NFL. He's worked with the Denver Broncos, actually winning a Super Bowl with the Broncos, and most recently with the Houston Texans. And I actually want to start there, Billy. Just obviously starting your career, you work with the Denver Broncos, you go ahead and win a Super Bowl. Can you just describe that experience of just working in the NFL and going there?
Yeah. So working in the NFL was a dream of mine since I was probably in undergrad. And the minute I got into undergrad, I realized that's what I wanted to do. So I just laid out the steps. I literally went online and looked at folks that work in the league, from scouting to strength conditioning to physical therapy and athletic training, to try and see how everyone else got in. And I knew if I just did the exact same things or close to that I'd be able to get my foot in the door. And luckily for me, God blessed me with an opportunity to have an internship with the Denver Broncos. So once I got my foot in the door, I knew it was going to be a difficult decision for them to let me walk out the door. And, and I say that with all humility, just because of my work ethic. So they gave me another opportunity to do another internship. That turned into another job. And long story short, I wanted to do a little bit more than just athletic training. And the Broncos weren't looking to do that at the time. And so Luke Richardson left the Denver Broncos. He was the then head strength coach. Got the job with the Texans, and him and I had similar visions and decided to hire me.
Definitely hear that, and I appreciate the confidence. It's okay to be confident. It's all a good thing, man. Trust me.
Yeah.
You got to let people know out here. Now, like I said, during your career, just getting the opportunity to obviously work with a team in the Super Bowl and then winning a Super Bowl, can you just give people an idea of what that was like just the week leading up to the actual game?
Yeah. And again, that was my first season. So a lot of people, I guess you put things into context or perspective. Like if you had worked in the league for several years and got to the playoffs and fell, or never got to the playoffs and finally got to that game, it was, you kind of appreciate a lot more than I did, because that was my first year. So I had no idea what I was getting into. So we're making this playoff run and winning games by 3 points, 4 points. And the week leading up to the Super Bowl, obviously you got, friends and family that want to go to the game, tickets, and you're trying to figure out how much it's going to cost and how you're going to pay for it. And you get fit ring. I think it was the week before the AFC Championship game, or maybe it was after that. I just can't remember. But all that stuff you don't really appreciate until after the fact. Not having been in the NFL for 6-7 years, it's like, man, you're just itching to get back to that. So that week leading up to it is probably one of the more exciting times in my professional career and in my life. To travel, being able to bring family along, being in another city for an extended period of time and enjoying that culture, and just watching like the setup for two teams in one city, military personnel guarding the stadiums and not just regular local police. So there's a little tiny things that you kind of take for granted, but when you're experiencing that at that level, it's kind of a lot more exciting.
I could definitely imagine just everything that you had to go through. And, I thought it was funny when you said you had to bring up about family and, everybody wants tickets at that point. But, yeah, you're in the Super Bowl, AFC Championship game. I definitely get that. That's a big deal,
Yep.
So got to keep that in mind. I do also just want to, kind of trend into this because we are the Chiefs Wire and we talk about everything Chiefs. Since you were with the Broncos, a place like Arrowhead Stadium was a place you had to go every single season. Can you just describe the atmosphere of playing, against the Chiefs in Arrowhead and how crazy the crowd is?
Man, listen, Tiffany Morton, one of the assistant athletic trainers for the Chief. She's actually a good friend of mine, and I tell all the time that whenever we're going to Arrowhead, even during the preseason, it's circled on my calendar because there's no more exciting stadium to be at besides the old Oakland Coliseum, which had a different set of fans. But the stadium at Arrowhead is just, historic. It's got a lot of history to it, from the locker rooms being the way they are to the benches. By the way, if you guys are ever selling those benches in the locker room, I'm the first person on board to buy those things. So a lot of history behind it. The fans are loud. I remember my first game there as a Bronco. I think it was on Monday night or Thursday night, and it's just loud. We're down 2 scores. Peyton's throwing 2 picks, and I believe we fumbled it at some point, and I could barely hear myself on the radio talking to my fellow athletic trainer. It's just every time we go back there, even when we were there most recently as a Texan, I'm just cheering the fans on because I love that Arrowhead chant. It's just there's no other crowd like it in the league.
Yeah, I definitely. I've heard all the stories, and I've seen people say just Arrowhead Stadium is a different animal compared to other stadiums. And obviously, you had the firsthand experience going through it. And the last game with you with the Texans, playoff game. I honestly, I know I don't want to get too deep into the result. We all know the result already. Okay, I don't want to bring that up. It's the off season. But Can you just, from your vantage point, just the type of team that you saw from like a guy like Patrick Mahomes, and what did you see from your point of view, the type of team the Chiefs were? Like you kind of saw it as like a Super Bowl caliber team?
Oh, absolutely. And like we've got into that game, and we're excited because we won the game during the regular season. I knew it was going to be a dogfight, and we all knew that we were going to have to put up 50, 40 points to even stay close in the game, and that wasn't even enough, obviously. But the crowd, you can never like emulate that, no matter what you do, trying to pump noise into your own stadium to get that kind of feeling. In the cold weather, you can't prepare for that kind of stuff. But back to your question, so like we knew that Pat is who he is. Pat, he's an MVP quarterback. And I remember walking up and down the sideline after we went up. I think it was 21-zip or whatever we were up. And I kept telling the guys every time we score, I was like, we can't let up. It's 0-0. And I kept thinking, I compared the Chiefs to the Golden State Warriors. You guys can be down, 10, 15, 20 points, and you'll knock down a couple threes or throw a couple touchdowns, and you're back in the game. And that's basically what it is. And that's the way I remember Pat when I was a Denver Bronco, and he played, I think, the final 2 games of the regular season. When you guys making the playoff run, I think in 17,
right?
Or I think the season was over for you guys. And I said, man, he's got something to him. And lo and behold, the season after that, he puts the league on notice. So we know what that team's made of with Tyron and Pat and Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. Some of the young guys you guys have, the special teams guys, Sorensen, you guys are just stacked. So it's, much credit to what you guys do as far as the draft process and the head coach and keeping those guys healthy with the medical staff and the strength coaches. It's just an all-around great organization.
They're definitely like I said, the Chiefs, amazing job winning the Super Bowl this year. I have to actually ask you, because you know the experience of winning a Super Bowl. What about the year after? Because the Chiefs are now have to defend their championship. What is the mentality the year after? Going through everything and having to do it all over again. Like, can you just give us a kind of an example of what you went through after the Super Bowl with the Broncos?
Yeah, and obviously I have a different vantage point, but it's kind of tough because obviously every Sunday, as you say in the league, any given Sunday, and that's truly the case. Like you're always, a turnover away from going 8-8. So it's kind of tough. Even if you win the Super Bowl, you can never guarantee that you're going back. And that's what I kind of alluded to at the beginning. When I won it in my first year, this guys have been in the league from the sports medicine side that have been in the league 30, 40 years and have never gone to a Super Bowl, let alone to a playoff game. So, you win one and you might not be back for like 3 or 4 years. So that following year was kind of, we thought we were going to go back because similar defense, we lost a couple players, but we thought we were going to go back. Quarterback situation wasn't exactly what the organization wanted it to be, I guess. Peyton had retired. And we're going with a younger quarterback. I think it was Trevor Siemian and Mark Sanchez.
Yes.
So we still thought we had a chance because we had the Von Millers, the Mark Ware, and those guys. But I believe we started off the season 3-1, and then after that it was just downhill from there. I think we finished 9-7 or something like that. But the ball wasn't falling our way like it was the year before that. It's tough to repeat, let alone make the playoffs the following year, in that division at least.
I definitely hear you on that. And you know how you said you talk about like dealing with different players, dealing with their injuries. I neglected to mention one of the biggest injuries going into the playoffs last year was J.J. Watt. Now, I don't know, did you have a role in helping him prepare to come back so early the way he did? Because no one was expecting him to be around for the playoffs.
No, I didn't. I think that was a great job by medical staff with Dr. Lowe and his surgery, obviously. And JJ worked closely with Roland Ramirez. That's his guy. And those guys, work together and getting JJ back on the field. And that's a testament to JJ's work ethic and who JJ Watt is and what we know him to be. He just put the hard work in, put his head down, and he never had a doubt that he'd be back for the playoffs.
I definitely hear that. And before we let you go, I have to ask. I know you're working in your own business right now, and obviously the world is a little upside down because of everything that's been going on with COVID-19. What is there any advice that you would give people that just want to stay in shape or just want to stay healthy during this time? Because, like I said, there's so much uncertainty. People can't go out, and is there anything that they can do that you would?
Absolutely. I think just being consistent with whatever you decide to do. If you're going to train at home, if you're going to run, two things is being consistent and being progressive. Because I've had a lot of friends and clients that have ended up hurting themselves because they just jump right into running 3 miles a day and didn't really have a plan. And if you're not used to doing a particular exercise, whether it's running, squatting, lunging, and you just jump right into it and doing a lot too soon, you can end up getting yourself hurt. So again, the main two things I'd say is just be consistent. Find something that you enjoy to do that you can do on your free time for 20 to 30 minutes, and just be progressive with how you get into it.
Definitely hear that, man. And can you shout out your business and let people know where they can catch up with you, get some more information, maybe follow you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can follow me on Instagram, Volt, like as in voltage, so VOLT.PT. And my my website is voltperformancetherapy.com. And you can find me there or send me a message through the contact form on the website. Right now, I just work privately, so I don't work with no more than 20 individuals a month. I provide rehab, telehealth or consultation for anyone dealing with injuries or wants a home workout program to put together, and small group training right now. So during the season, I'll be working with a couple guys traveling, doing some recovery work, and possibly some rehab for any unfortunate injuries this season.
Okay, definitely make sure you follow him. Make sure you check out the website. He's one of the best in the business. Billy, thanks again, man, for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate the invite, Ed.
All
I'll
right.
see you in a couple months.
Oh, you know it, man. Take care.
All right, take care.